Welcome to Reduce CO2 Now. This presentation is about how you can get massive karma on Reddit. And Reddit is really like a cool social media network. It's very much, let's say, text-based. There are a lot of motivated users there, a lot of different communities. So a lot of things you can use it for, like, for example, for research and like to improve things. It's a very valuable platform. And it needs, when you want to interact there with people, you need karma. Yeah. So, and here we're looking how you can get karma really fast, even with a totally new account. So karma on Reddit is sort of a quality indicator for a person, for an account, for somebody who's like interacting. So you don't need karma at all if you're just consuming content and you read Reddit and that's it, and you maybe upvote or downvote something that's like totally normal. But you don't really need karma. But when you want to become active, you want to be posting, commenting, karma is very important. Especially if you want to join our project and you want to go in the area of something like global warming and climate change. That area is heavily contested. There's lots and lots of stuff going on with spamming. And so Reddit is automatically filtering out accounts. So if you do the wrong stuff and you don't have enough karma and you can get banned. We had subreddits banned because we had brought like too many users in freshly to use Reddit, and then like subreddits got banned and stopped because that looked like a spamming kind of thing for Reddit. So karma is a really important thing. On the left side there, you see like one account we are using right now, Reduce CO2 Now account, and it has like 7,500 karma. But like when you start an account, there's like two factors. One is the age of an account. So something that's like 0 days, isn't really that trustworthy, like something which is several months old. And within weeks, we had like several thousand karma. So the account was like really safe, and it could be used to operate and actually post messages and so on. Otherwise, you are always risk when you do certain things that you get banned. Then you see there's another account there, and like within something like 2 months or so, that account had more than 60 or 70,000 karma. So it was roughly like on average 1,000 karma per day. So 2 months would have been something like 60,000 karma. It was even more. So what we're going to show you is to take something, even a new account, from nothing to build really a lot of karma really fast. Yeah? And of course, the age of an account matters. So if you have made your account like years ago, that's like really good. So that's just considered old. But some people just like start on Reddit and they also want to do and get karma. When you have a totally new account, you have to be a little bit more careful in getting your karma than when it's already older. And for example, if you want to become a moderator on our subreddit Reduce CO2, then you also need like a certain amount of karma that we can make you a moderator. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So how can you build karma? You basically can just do two things. Posting and commenting. Posting has a very high potential. With a post, you can make lots and lots of karma. Yeah? But it's not so big potential, but it's not so easy if you have very low karma already. If you just have 1, 2, 3 karma and your account is just like a day old, it's not so easy in posting, but you first have to go to commenting. So there the potential is a little bit lower. Also you can have comments which get like very much karma, but it's easy to do right away from the start. And we're going to show you now how this actually works, really like in a step-by-step thing. So now we assume that you have like just started on Reddit, you don't really know your way around, and we explain everything, and your account is like really new. Yeah? So you just start. So the first thing is that you actually have to prepare a little bit. Yeah? So and if your account is older, you might want to do the same kind of things as well. So one thing first, for the whole thing, karma, you get karma when you bring value to the community. This is how do you earn karma. You don't really get karma by like annoying people, by like, if there's like a Trump subreddit, you don't criticize Trump in there. Yeah, that doesn't really work. You will get downloaded. You can lose karma as well, yeah, by doing the wrong stuff. And you also, especially when there's a new account, you want to behave as much as possible like a normal user to not get banned. Because if you do something strange, which is not by the AI will like find it and will ban it. So we wanted to use Reddit as a project management tool. So we brought a lot of people on Reddit, which were like totally new and had like very little karma. And then they went on doing something in a heavily contested field like climate change. And we had like people banned, we had like their accounts banned, especially like if you are coming from all over the world and not like in Europe or the United States, or you come like from countries in Africa or so. I think that's more touchy than if you're like in Europe. Anyway, we give you like a recipe here. So the first things first, you start with what people usually do on Reddit, and that is voting. There's a function on Reddit that for like anything, you can upvote it and downvote it. Usually people just like upvote it. Downvoting is not that common, but of course also possible. If you see something which is like really bad, you can downvote it and say that's not a good thing. So the system is learning from the intelligence of the users. And you see there are some examples on the right-hand side. The first one has like 17 upvotes, and you just hit this up arrow, and that's giving a vote. Yeah? So you can start by going to like the homepage. You see some articles, just click on them, read a few. You can just also like put some upvotes here and there. You can read some comments and upvote them and use that upvote arrow. So, and especially at the beginning, you should be like going to Reddit like several times per day. Maybe you put the app on your phone, and when you have like some minutes, you just go there, browse, put some upvotes and stuff. That's that's normal behavior, like people start. Huh? And you want to have like normal behavior in the beginning and learn the system. So the second step in the preparation is that you need to find communities. The whole thing of Reddit is like you have all kinds of different topics. People can open a new community and push it. But please, 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 especially in the beginning, avoid climate change topics. Don't go to even our thing in the beginning. Just earn your karma like 100 or so, and then you go to these communities. But really avoid climate change initially, and also like heavily contested topics like something about Trump or politics at all, or like even like soccer, where there's like one team against the other. You don't want to go in these areas because there are like mechanisms inside to protect these discussion forums. You want to go to like things which aren't really contested, yeah, where there is not fighting going on. So there's now a very big question. What are you good at? Because you want to bring value to Reddit, to the communities there. So if you have no clue of programming, don't go to the programming kind of area. Or if you can't cook and you can only eat, well, don't really go to cooking, go to eating. Yeah. So what are you an expert at? What are you really good at? What are your interests? What do you really like? Yeah. So where you can like start talking. Yeah. And that could be like your country. That could be like really like a club or anything, or your profession or your hobbies or so on. So look for these kind of things, and there's a search field on top, and then you just type, I think I typed food, and then you type food, and then comes up all kinds of stuff, and there's a field called communities. Go to them, and there you see all these subreddits. These communities always start like with r/. For example, r/food. If you type in food, is like the largest community for food. Guess what? They're talking about food there, and they're talking about recipes. You maybe can put some stuff in there. You can comment or whatever. You just can interact there because it's food, and nobody's really arguing there if you have a different taste than anybody. So use these search boxes, search for topics you are interested in. Yeah, if you're interested in technology or aviation or cars or whatever, type this in, look for relevant communities. And there's like different sizes of communities. There's like really large ones, which sometimes are heavily protected that you can't use them yet. But there are also like smaller communities where you would be allowed to post. So you want to like check out for large ones, which are like helpful, but you also want to check out smaller ones. So you want to find your communities, and then there's a button. You go to on the lower left. There's, for example, Ask Reddit. That's something that's open to anybody, and there's a button Join. So you hit this button Join, so it that kind of subreddit becomes into your list. And then you can also mark it as a favorite, because you can join like 100 subreddits, and then you say, hey, these ones are working best for me. I'm going to put like this star sign on it and mark this as a favorite. You want to have at least something like 10 or so subreddits. Yeah, you can have more, 20, 30, whatever. It's like really depends on you how much you want to put in there. But like, hey, at least 10 seems to be a good number. So far, you didn't do anything. You just like prepared yourself. Now we are going to actually build karma. And we start in the first stage because we assume you have like almost no karma. You have a very young account. So we want to do and start with commenting. And always remember, you want to deliver value. If somebody's posting there something and you just throw an insult to this, you're not going to earn karma. Yeah? Maybe in some areas, but usually not. And you can also get downvoted if, like, for example, there was like the dating kind of thing, and I just made some research about dating, and so I gave some advice to people, but they were not like really appreciating it. What would have worked in maybe a consulting kind of thing doesn't really work in a setting where it's online, and then people read this and take it as an insight. And then you don't get upvotes, because what you want to get upvotes. Huh? And you want to start with subreddits that are simple and not contested. So, for example, we had this other subreddit there, Ask Reddit. You can just ask questions there, but then that would be a post. Huh? Here, we want to go to commenting. So you go to these subreddits where you actually have a queue. Yeah? So let's take the food or travel or anything. Yeah? So you look for an article where you think you can add something meaningful, and then you post a comment there. Like, somebody's here, there's a subreddit, Ask Germany. Explain Waldmeister taste for me. That's really a strange kind of thing. So you can take this question, answer it. Or you can see the comments and go, for example, for a trending comment and make another comment on the comment. There's also where people can get upvotes, where you can get upvotes from. And there's like almost for everybody, there's something. You can take your region or country, like there's something for Europe, there's something for Germany, there's something like asking questions to people from that country. Ask Germany, or ask United States, or ask England, or whatever. Yeah. So there's like all these different subreddits where you could make a difference. So like your hobbies, your job, or anything where really you want to provide value. Somebody's asking a question, you use an article, and you could check out how could go to a fresh made article, something you can sort there by either the date or how many upvotes the whole thing has, or which is trending. So there's like different kind of filter settings. But you could, like, in some areas, it's good to be the first one to respond. Yeah, then you might get upvotes for a good answer. But in some areas, it's maybe good to go for something which already has a lot of upvotes and a lot of comments. Huh? So you just have to test it out and like play around with it. Just like comment, put value in. That's it. One important thing: don't use ChatGPT. Nowadays, everybody is like using AI for everything. No, don't do that. Really, no. On Reddit, it's not liked if you are doing AI stuff. Yeah, so it's not liked very much. If people recognize that you are using an AI to generate this answer, and usually like people are really good at spotting this, trust me, it's usually not well received. So you can even get backlash and saying, hey, you are talking like an AI or something like this. So like really keep it, type it. Of course, if you are like English isn't really that great, you might even find a subreddit in your language, but the core language of Reddit is actually English. So really, don't use AI, really do it yourself. You really want to be thinking here. That's why you should be having like something where you have an expertise. It could be your country, your job, and so on. Yeah. So you reply to other people's comments. Yeah, that's one thing. Or you can like go to and make a reply to the initial thing, and sometimes, there's like a simple answer or a simple question or a simple topic. And then there's a comment, and that comment is like heavily upvoted and what people there again do. So you really like get the touch for it, look, and you will get a feel for what kind of subreddit you're using, what strategy actually works best. Always, you want to support the discussion that is already there. You want to give like your energy into this, and always please stay positive, be friendly, and always respectful. And be warned, and on Reddit, people can answer really in a very, very unfriendly and bad way. Just ignore that. That's like online forums. So now we come to the second stage. And this is we're going into posting. And one of the important things is to find the right subreddits for you to start posting. So we assume that you like have a very fresh account and you almost have no karma. And before you actually start posting, please wait at least a few days or a week or so. And you should already have something like 25 karma or so from commenting. So before you actually start posting, just wait, just like give it some time and earn some karma in commenting. So now the important thing is really posting can supercharge your whole experience. You can like make one post of something and you can have like thousands of karma from that. It's really like how you find the right thing. Again, please don't use ChatGPT to post. Yeah, please don't. Reddit is very sensitive against ChatGPT and AI. So now our problem is that we have to find a subreddit that is accepting new users and it allows us to post without restrictions. Yeah, because like every administrator, every person who owns or a group of people who owns like a subreddit, they make the rules who is allowed to post there with a new post. And that usually in contested areas like climate or so, you are not allowed to post if you have not a certain amount of karma or if your account doesn't have or like other features of you. So, and they are not published. You don't know that. You can only like look at the thing and test it out. In general, you can say subreddits, which are really, really huge, like we have millions of people, they will have more protection than smaller ones. Yeah? So if you are like going for something like, let's say food, which has like millions of people, and then there's maybe Italian pizza, that subreddit is maybe smaller, and so you're probably going to be allowed earlier to post in there. It's just a rule of thumb. You have to try this out. There are different types of posts, of course. You can post a text and you always have to give like a header, post something like any kind of text. In Ask Reddit, which is like a very interesting forum because you're allowed to use it immediately. Anybody can like ask a question and it must be a question and it's only the header, no other text. And there's like an automation behind it, looking that it's actually a question and there are some rules. By the way, always read the rules. There are some rules for the subreddits, usually saying something like, okay, you can post it this way or blah, blah, blah. And please follow them. You always want to follow these rules. You want to provide value. So in other areas, you can only post images, for example, or in some you can like choose. And in some areas, in some subreddits, you can only post links. So for, I think, economics or so, you can only like have a link from like a source and post the link there. So you can't post a text post. If you want to start a conversation about something, you have to find an article and then post a link there. Or you can post videos or other sources. So there is like usually, again, read the rules. It's written in there what you can do. Like in Econex, for example, if you have a very fresh account, like less than I think half a year, what they have is you have to use only certain like a newswire, like Reuters, and so there are restrictions depending on the subreddit. You know, it really depends there. Read the rules, and that really helps. As again said, larger subreddits tend to have more restrictions than smaller ones. So if you have like your food topic is there, you might go for a large one and a small one. Yeah. So and for you, a community might be better is just going to have some 1,000 members. Yeah. Of course, your potential of getting like big kind of karma for one post is better if you have like millions of users there. So you see like some things to start, like ask Reddit. You just ask a question. There's something like travel photos or pics, travel, hiking. There are a lot of things where you can just upload photographs, where you can take your own photographs, your images. You know, you really must own them. You know, and you know, if you are living in any really strange part of the world and you have never really traveled, just go hike a little bit, make some photos and post that. Or you know, other people would maybe like to travel to your place. So make a review of that. Even if you're really like living in a remote place, you can make nice photographs and put it in there. And you know, images really work because that's really like simple. You don't have to do much. In some of these like travel photos or travel, they are very specific rules on how you do that. And then you will get to know the auto moderator, because most of these forums have like, if you post a text and you write a swear word in there, that's usually filtered out and your post is going to be cut off. Huh? If you don't follow the rules, they're like testing the rules, and then your post is not going to be there. Sometimes you don't even know why they filter it out. But you know, like if you try like 2 or 3 times and it might be just a restriction on your karma or age, and like just forget then the subreddit, go to another one and try it there. You want to find the ones where you can actually post something in a meaningful way and participate. And then you can mark those ones which actually work for you as favorites. So now we come to the posting super strategy. Because, you know, imagine you already have like several hundred karma and your account is like a year old or something. And now you say, hey, I want to have like 10,000 karma or 50,000 karma or something like this to be more respected. Then you can immediately hit this super strategy. But, you know, we just assume that you like start new, you start fresh, and then you have to go through all the different steps to earn the base karma and earn the right to post in more areas. Huh? So, and you already know now that that there are all these different subreddits, and some work for you and some don't. Now we want to get really a lot of karma out of our stuff. And this is, let's say, the super strategy. And it's absolutely freaking simple. You don't have to be an expert in anything. You only have to find now, we avoided the larger subreddits in the beginning. Now you are ready to take them on, because all of these like larger subreddits, they have restrictions. And if you have earned your way now with posting and commenting, and you have like, let's say, more than 100 karma or so, really depends on the subreddit, and your account is old enough, you know, some weeks old, you have like the foundation for the super strategy, which is really freaking cool. And, you know, that's like, I told you that in the beginning, there's this one account, something like making 1,000 karma per day with like, 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes. You know, I can't promise you just like what everybody's saying, hey, you just like 1-2 minutes. No, it's a little bit of time, but you can do it every now and then. And it's just something to learn. So how does that actually? So first of all, you want to go to reliable news source, a respected news source that could be like, for example, Reuters, the Associated Press. These are called the news wires, and they are sort of apolitical. the difference. If you go in the United States, you go to CNN, they're in the one spectrum, and you go to Fox News, they're in the other spectrum. So they are partisan, not, apolitical. So you want to go something which is apolitical. It makes your, there's like, for example, here's a Deutsche Welle. Yeah. It's has got an international service. Yeah. And it's something like a state-owned media. Yeah. Or you go to, let's say, Tagesschau, which is like also the German television, which again is sort of, it's like apolitical. Of course, they cover politics, but you want to go to these kind of sources which are respected, yeah, and not fall in the trap that you use like, let's say, Fox News or something like this. Again, Fox News can work very well if you are posting in Trump fall. Yeah, then of course, Fox News is going to work better than CNN. It always depends on where you post. But like for this kind of strategy, we're going to go for some news, okay, and then you pick out an interesting article, yeah, where you have at least some sort of knowledge about, and it should be really new, like last hours or so. Yeah, so it should be really recent, not something that is already days old. Then you look for a matching subreddit. Yeah, so for example, there's some European news. You can post this in Europe. Yeah, in the R-Europe forum. Yeah. First, what you do is you check that it's not already posted there. You check that the link isn't there. Yeah. Then you post the link to the article. Yeah. So you post the link to the article under link, type link, of course. Yeah. Sometimes it's automatically putting the headline in, but you want to take care that the headline is exactly as in the base article. So then you post this. It's absolutely freaking simple. You pick up an article which is new, something which happened in the news. You take it, you put it in a matching subreddit. I would say you can do it in 1, maybe 2. Don't do it like 3, 4, 5. No, just like take one thing. It could be like, you do Europe and stock market, for example, if it's like relevant for a European stock. Yeah? So let's say you can do 2, not more than 2, I would say. The second step is immediately you comment under your post. You can either make a short summary. Sometimes even the summary is provided in the article. So you just copy it, quote from the article, and you mark this and with quoted text, and people see, oh, it's a quoted text. Because now, people don't need to read the whole article. There's usually a summary always provided by a professional. And then you can get upwards for the comment as well. You can earn double. And then in the third step, guess what? So now in the third step, and if you see that Reddit is giving you notifications when you have like upvotes and comments and stuff like this, then you engage with the responses. Yeah. So you want to engage, and there is like some reply or so you upvote those. You give the people upvotes, and then you can say thank you, or you add something to this discussion or anything. But always be constructive and polite and so on. And even if somebody is saying something about this, and then you say thank you, or like somebody's even criticizing you, you can say thank you for the feedback, yeah, or whatever. You can engage in the discussion, so that if this is going to start and going to trend, you have more ways to actually get upwards. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoy this and get lots of karma on Reddit. And well, if you want to join us, do something about climate change and global warming, reduce CO2 in the world, join our Discord and then go to an online meeting. You'll find the link here in the description, or you go to reduceco2now.com. Then you join our Discord server. You find there the event section. There's also like online meetings there. You introduce yourself, and then we can discuss your participation, especially if you are really good in Reddit. We like people who are like doing the things on Reddit and engaging in the discussion and bringing what we are doing to a broader audience. So please, 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 if you really like Reddit and you enjoyed this video, you can join forces with us and join our team. Would be glad to see you. Please like, share, subscribe this video. And of course, Thank you very much for watching. Let's turn climate change around.